I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Monday, September 15th. Today.
The big part here is I think 2 people are dead because of an impaired driver.
Police ask for your help after 2 cyclists are killed on a Winnipeg street. Also today, slowing things down.
I see a lot of cars not doing the speed limit. A lot of guys are checking for traffic and just doing drag races down here.
The troubling data that's led to a speeding slapdown. Plus, a celebration canceled.
We had so many people that come to the event, and we couldn't knowingly put people at risk.
Why organizers called off a gay pride event in Manitoba City. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. 2 people are dead after being hit by a vehicle on the weekend, and tonight the driver of that vehicle is facing impaired charges. It happened at around 9:30 Saturday night. Emergency crews were called to the scene on Kenaston Boulevard, south of IKEA.
The investigation determined that a pickup truck traveling at a high rate of speed southbound on Kenaston Boulevard near Enterprise Drive drove onto the shoulder, striking 2 people. The driver failed to remain on scene and drove off.
A 31-year-old man was found dead at the scene, and a 25-year-old woman was taken to hospital where she died from her injuries. Police say a bicycle was found near the scene of the crash, but investigators are still trying to determine what happened prior to the collision.
That's why we're appealing to the public. If they have any dash cam footage, or if they were driving by in the area at the time, to be able to provide this to police.
Anyone with information can contact the Winnipeg Police Service or Crime Stoppers. A 46-year-old man is now charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving causing death, 2 counts of impaired driving causing death, and for failing to stop at the scene of an accident. He remains in custody. Winnipeg police say the truck that hit those cyclists was also speeding, and according to recent data, it's all too common. Police Chief Gene Bowers says over 3 months, officers wrote more than 3,800 speeding tickets. CTV's Jeff Keel shows you what police are doing to slow things down.
Jeff Brown walks his dog twice a day and says sometimes drivers zoom by him.
I see a lot of cars not doing the speed limit. A lot of guys are checking for traffic and just doing drag races down here.
The high speeds worry Brown.
Yeah, a little bit of safety with people walking. There's some elderly people in the neighborhood, and I'm concerned for their safety as well.
Winnipeg Police Chief Gene Bowers told the Winnipeg Police Board Friday they are focusing on road safety, targeting speeders.
We wanted to concentrate on speeding because speeding causes serious injury and death.
He says in the second quarter of this year, officers handed out more than 3,800 speeding tickets, the most they've seen in at least 5 years.
And we see speed as definitely an issue when it comes to safety on the streets.
Recent surveys done by CAA show 82% of Manitobans are concerned about speeding, while 90% of parents reported seeing dangerous driving around schools, including speeding.
We know that speed kills. We know that it's one of the quickest and easiest things we can do as motorists to ensure safety, and even small reductions have a noticeable impact.
In an attempt to reduce speeds, the city recently placed these removable calming curbs in various locations to see if they should be made permanent. Here on Cambridge Street, some homeowners told CTV News the curbs aren't slowing anyone down. Jeff Brown says he's in favor of the curbs staying put as he's noticed a minimal impact.
It's helped a little bit, but we'll still see the occasional speeders, but it definitely has helped somewhat.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Bowers also told the police board officers issued close to 900 distracted driving tickets during the same period. A crash closed the North Perimeter Highway this morning. RCMP responded to the scene around 7:45 on the Perimeter Highway just west of the McPhillip Street turnoff. The crash and cleanup closed the perimeter for several hours. The highway didn't reopen until after 11. No word yet on any injuries or charges. And a 77-year-old woman was killed in a crash on the Trans-Canada Highway Saturday night. RCMP say an SUV was headed south on Provincial Road 250 and tried to cross the highway. A truck heading west on the highway T-boned the SUV. The woman driving the SUV died from the injuries, and a 78-year-old man was critically injured. 2 people in the truck were not hurt. The annual Steinbach Pride Parade March and Rally typically draws hundreds of people, but this year the streets were quiet as the event was canceled due to threatening comments made against one of the performers. CTV's Danton Unger reports.
Steinbach Pride organizers were forced to cancel the annual march and rally this weekend over threats made against one of the performers.
We just decided we have so many children and we have so many families and we have so many people that come to the event and we couldn't knowingly put people at risk.
Steinbach Pride President Chris Platt says a far-right group had made comments threatening to disrupt the event. He says it came in retaliation to the shooting of 31-year-old Charlie Kirk.
It really heated up the whole environment when it comes to LGBTQI rights and relationships between LGBTQ people and some of the more right-thinking groups that are out there.
Kirk, a dominant figure in conservative U.S. politics with a large base among evangelical Christians, was shot and killed last week. Authorities have alleged the suspect carried a hatred for Kirk and in recent years veered towards what officials described as a leftist ideology.
We have witnessed a growing social polarization based on intolerance of other groups.
Adjunct Professor Kausar Ahmed at the University of Winnipeg studies radicalism and violent extremism. He says given a growing polarization driven by echo chambers on social media, he wasn't surprised to hear of the threats made to Steinbach Pride, but he says the events of the past week should be a wake-up call.
Many say that, it's not my problem, sort of attitude. So this kind of things, they're not helping because we need to deploy our narratives of correctness, justice, and equality.
For Platt, his message to those behind the threats.
People who are threatening the general public, that's not a winner. The winners are the people who want to keep people safe and want to keep people protected from harm.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Federal investigators are headed to the site of a small aircraft crash in northern Manitoba. It happened Saturday night just before 7, killing 4 people dead and leaving the pilot seriously injured. The crash happened approximately 40 kilometers south of St. Teresa Point First Nation near Makepeace Lake. RCMPs say the DHC-2 Beaver aircraft departed St. Teresa Point en route to Makepeace Lake. At the crash scene, Mounties confirmed the 20-year-old male pilot suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. 2 male passengers, 53 and 49 years old, along with 2 50-year-old female passengers, all from St. Teresa Point, were pronounced dead on scene. Things are looking up for Manitoba early childhood educators. A recent survey found more than half have noticed their wages have gone up and more are satisfied with their jobs. Probe Research surveyed more than 800 members of the Manitoba Child Care Association. It found 81% of ECEs are satisfied overall with their job. 93% say they get a sense of accomplishment from their work. 54% have noticed a wage increase. And ECEs are staying longer and mostly staying put. The average tenure in the industry is 17.2 years, up significantly from 2016. But the Manitoba Child Care Association says there is still more work to do.
The primary gap is that we're still seeing significant staffing shortages. So directors are reporting that 1 1/3 facilities are still working on operational licenses where they may not have enough of the regulated ECE 2s or 3s to meet proportionate trained staff. 22% of directors are closing spaces perhaps temporarily because of staff shortages.
Jody Kale says more needs to be done to improve working conditions for ECEs. For example, more paid time off the floor for curriculum planning and meeting families. Ottawa wants to start a housing boom. The federal government plans to spend billions to build 4,000 new homes on 6 federally owned sites across Canada. And as CTV's John Hendrick shows you, Winnipeg is one of the cities on the list.
If the Carney government gets its way, a lot more developments like this one will soon begin springing up in Winnipeg and across the country.
Quickly leverage public lands for housing so projects are de-risked, approvals are greenlit, and builders can do what they do best, which is to build.
As part of the newly developed Build Canada Homes Agency, the federal government plans to spend $13 billion to speed up affordable home building and the permitting process. But unlike traditional builds, which are typically done on site, The new agency will prioritize the use of modern methods of construction, including factory-built modular homes, like these ones from Winkler's Grander Housing.
It's really fantastic to watch because it is literally an assembly line where the unit moves through.
Lanny McInnes, the president of the Manitoba Home Builders Association, says these sorts of homes are fully code compliant and would work in Manitoba's harsh climate. The plan is to build a total of 4,000 new homes in Canada, something housing experts say is a positive step.
There's also questions about once you build these units, who's going to manage them and how are they going to be allocated to various people in need.
Questions that can only be answered once the sites are selected and the homes actually built. But Lanny McInnes is optimistic about this program.
We see the announcement as being very positive, that will help not just deal with the shortage of affordable housing, but could help housing right across the spectrum.
Construction on the first round of projects is expected to begin next year. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
CTV weather specialist Colleen Brady joins us now with a first look at our Skywatch evening forecast. What are you tracking for us tonight, Colleen?
Well, showers and thunderstorms. If you haven't noticed, it's pretty warm out there and it's very humid as well. So we do have some weather alerts as we head into this Monday evening. First of all, a weather advisory in effect for the southwest, including Brandon, relating to the potential for funnel clouds, and where we're seeing things lighting up in yellow in the southeast. That is a severe thunderstorm watch that spills over into northwestern Ontario. More details on those things coming up, and a look to the rest of your week. Let's take a look right now, though, through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg, it's 22 degrees, but yikes, it feels like 28. Winds out of the south at 30 kilometers an hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity is 77%. Out in traffic, a live look at the St. James Bridge. Traffic a little heavier for southbound folks, but northbound Henderson Highway, there's a gas leak in the area. Northbound Henderson between Knowles and Bonner is restricted to one lane. It's expected the repairs will be done by around 6 o'clock tonight.
Taking a look at the markets tonight, the price of oil rose slightly. The Canadian dollar jumped up about 1/5 of a cent U.S. Gold gained more than $32. The TSX added 147 points. The Dow Jones climbed 49 points, while the Nasdaq was up 207 points.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
Believe it or not, there's still time to enjoy your garden. This is Get Growing. Ainsley, Carla once again. Let's talk about some of the options.
Well, when we're dealing with the fall is the second season of gardening, and we're starting to get established, just like our tulips getting in the garden. We're getting a jump ahead of our gardens for next year. But being at the garden center in the fall, you start to see the colors that you actually could enjoy that give you that season extension into it with the different colors. So the ones that we really kind of love are the sedums that are in through here, the sedums Autumn Joy, and various in colors. These are pollinator plants too, so it's important to be able to feed some of our insects and birds later on in the late season. But when you're venturing into the sedum categories, there's such a variety of brightness to their blooms. They almost look like broccoli. Yeah. Right?
Pretty
that
broccoli
effect that's on there. Right, even to stronger color tones within the sedum families. Now, when you're pairing things and you're thinking of fall, you look at even daylilies that have that warmer, richer tones. It's like, you know, it's like our fashion. Our fashion flips to different color tones. So your gaillardias and your heucheras take on that richness that is so welcoming for the fall garden. And of course, Perovskova, long season extenders that give us that color that we can enjoy right through to the season.
Now that you're comparing, I saw a maple leaf there for some reason. Maybe I'm just ultra Canadian. What's the best way to plant them then?
When you're planting them, it's just getting them putting them into your garden with an established area. Always make sure that your garden is prepared. Make sure that your hole is open, deep enough and wide enough so that when you're planting it, you're adding in some bone meal to again start getting that roots going. You're not going to get a lot of upper growth at that time, but what you're going to do is get the roots anchored in the ground, established for next year.
And people are already thinking about that. I can't even believe it.
Well, fall gardening, you're going to say, why fall gardening? Well, A, you're able to see some spaces that you have into it, and B, there may be some areas that you may want to add different colors at different types of the season. We have blooming spring, blooming summer. Now, it's a perfect time to assess your backyard to see if you have color that extends into that last portion, which is your autumn.
Speaking of color, though, this is stunning, right? You're mixing color, you're mixing texture, and you're really getting the full piece of it all.
That's what gardens are about, and this is when you're focusing on your perennial gardening. This is where you can do those accents. And if you're thinking about doing the trees and shrubs, you have to visit into the nursery portion of it, because there's a lot of trees and shrubs that will give you that redness or that deep yellows and oranges, which is really, really pretty.
Well, you're going to have to come by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center to see it for yourself.
Get Growing, brought to you by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Get a lush yard and garden, thanks to expert advice from gardening professionals. Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Gord Bamford.
Well, it was a busy and active weekend around Winnipeg. Nearly 1,000 people showed up to the annual Terry Fox Run on Sunday. Participants laced up their runners on Sunday morning at Assiniboine Park. Organizers said this year's turnout and fundraising efforts both exceeded their expectations. One of the organizers said raising $100,000 by the end of the month is now a believable goal.
Every year since 2022, the momentum has gotten more and more, so it's like an avalanche snowball effect where we're getting more and more volunteers and more people coming to run and more donations coming in, so it's outstanding, the response of the people.
All proceeds go directly to cancer research. And walkers gathered at the Fork Saturday. The Fentanyl Awareness Day walk raises awareness about the dangers of recreational drug use and fentanyl poisoning. For free, says we're going to skip ahead. Meanwhile, there's lots to talk about over the weekend in Winnipeg. The Manitoba Electric Vehicle Association hosted its annual EV Fest Saturday. The event featured plug-in cars, trucks, scooters, and even electric race cars built by University of Manitoba students. Visitors got to look at the latest models and charging technology, while EV owners shared their real-world experiences.
Everybody thinks they cost a whole lot more than gas vehicles, and right now we're finding that they're getting close to the similar pricing. They're slightly more, but then we also have the provincial rebates kind of covering that, and along with the maintenance and all that, you're going to be saving money in the near future.
And Bomber fans got on-the-field experience. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers held its annual Fan Appreciation Day at Princess Auto Stadium yesterday. Fans got to meet some of the players who were signing posters, hats, and other merchandise. The Bombers now have a record of 6-7 following Friday's loss to Hamilton. The Blue and Gold will face Ottawa this Saturday at 2 o'clock. And Monday Night Football kicks off your primetime lineup tonight at 6 with the Buccaneers versus the Texans. E-Talk and the Big Bang Theory follow at 9, and Battle of the Generations wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV. A live look out at Confusion Corner. Traffic moving well there in the city. It's 29, but it feels much warmer with the humidex. Windy, too. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon. CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, a very warm and a very unstable air mass parked right over southern Manitoba heading into tonight, and it's tripping off a lot of showers and thunderstorms. Now, also in the Brandon area and these surrounding areas lighting up in purple, Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement. Why? Well, there is the potential for funnel clouds to develop. This threat lasts until the evening hours, so do keep your eyes on the sky if you are in those areas. Here, I'll zoom in and give you a closer look at all these communities that are under that special weather statement. To the east, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for many areas in eastern Manitoba, east into Ontario. But this has just popped up. I'm spinning around a lot, I know. Up here, we have a severe thunderstorm outright. That was for the Poplar River area. That one is moving pretty quickly. So if you're in that community, keep your eyes on the sky there. Conditions are severe at this point. Now you head into this evening and you see that it's not just those areas that are potentially affected by rain, maybe showers or thunderstorms across much of Manitoba tonight, including Winnipeg. Into the overnight hours, into Tuesday we go, where there is still the possibility scattered of showers or thunderstorms, including here in the city. And then it starts to pull out as we get later on into tomorrow night. Warm overnight tonight, Monday night, 18 degrees, showers or thunderstorms possible this evening. There's a chance of more tomorrow, otherwise a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 24 degrees. Then into the long range, 21 on Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, most days cloudy. And all three of those days, there's at least the chance of showers. You see those highs in the upper teens, low 20s. And then Sunday, 22 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. Let's take a look at some lovely weather photos, shall we? This one takes us down along the Seine River, and you can tell that fall is about to arrive. That photo is from Kevin. It is meteorological fall already, after all. And this photo is out at Star Lake near West Hawk Lake, and it is from Roxy. Send us your photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. A horde of dinosaurs invaded Steinbach Saturday. Safe Families Canada held its 5th annual Dino Dash. The event featured about 20 inflatable dinosaurs racing to the finish line. All of the proceeds support the organization's local chapter. It's actually one of its biggest fundraisers of the year.
We have businesses that and churches and individuals and small groups that sponsor a T-Rex costume. They get to put in a racer of their choice, and we have a big Dino Dash race at the end of our fundraiser event. Our job is so serious in Safe Families, and so we really needed to bring some fun and levity. And who doesn't love seeing a giant inflatable dinosaur running? I mean, it's incredible.
The Dino Dash, get this, Colleen, raised more than $20,000.
Unbelievable. Looks like a lot of fun. Who wouldn't want to take
Very
part?
entertaining, yes. CTV National with Sandy Ronaldo starts now. CTV News at 6, preempted for football tonight, but you can still catch our show online. Just go to winnipeg.ca. Hope to see you then.